So hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. So
Hey.
this is the first time we are doing it in a different time because usually we do it in the middle of the day. And now I think the decision is that I want to is just try to have it in evening for us, and then it would be it would be at what time would be in the US? I'm not so sure, but it will be it would be at a decent time for them rather than in the middle of the night. So it's better for viewers who want to join from America, then they could still watch it. And so we'll just try this for a few months and to see what's the best. Okay, so today with us we have Jasper. So hello, Jasper. Yeah, so and our program, what we would do is that we would start with our note, and then we would have a chat with Jasper, and then we would go to see whether we have our PyPI highlight. Then let's just do it. And this is the link. Too high again. Can I do it right? For once, I always put it on my face, which is too high. So this is the link. And the left and right is reversed, so it's super weird. Okay, so this is the link, so it's not mirrored. So this is the link, yes, that you could actually, that you could follow us. And also my background is super weird. Try to ignore it, just like some static. So you can have a look at the notes with us. So what I'm gonna do is that I would share my screen if I could, and sorry about my manipulation. Is always as very bad. Wait, share, right. So this is our note, and you would be able to get it if you follow the link. And first of all, I think this is the most important thing, right? So why? Because the call for proposal for pajamas will end this Saturday, so it's not Friday because this tweet is old. So you only got 3 more days to submit. Actually, there should be another tweet saying 3 more days, so it's countdown thingy. Yeah. So if you want to submit, please do it right now. And we may extend it, but don't risk it. Just submit it, and I think that's the best. And I'm really bored by this light thingy. Oh my god, now it's totally black. Okay. And I'm wearing a black shirt as well, so it's kind of very dark right now. Okay.
You look like you're in a ghost setup, so it's like you're in a ghost house with you're it's very very ghosty your background today.
It's not a special effect. It's just that the light is not strong enough today. I guess it's not a good day in London, and so it's cast a very weird shadow. Anyway, so this is our call for proposal, and please submit, and it will be at the beginning of these things, right? So Pajama is supposed to be the special conference that that is online, that's super special until March this year. So it's not not super special, but the gimmick is still the same. You can wear a onesies or pajamas or whatever you like to present your talk and attend the conference. So that's the deal. And it's 100% a volunteer run, 100% free. It's not commercial. So it's just for the community to have fun. And the next thing is, what do we have here?
We have PyCon Taiwan news.
Yes, if I can share the screen of the PyCon Taiwan. And I'm so surprised because what I see is I saw in the tweet that they have a Chinese tweet, which I can read because Taiwan and where I'm from, Hong Kong, also use the traditional Chinese. So I can kind of read, but of course we speak different language, but we write the same language, if that makes sense. So they post a tweet saying we are looking for chairs for the sections, and I was like, okay. And then I'm kind of curious, and then I discovered that they are actually a physical conference. So it's in southern part of Taiwan. It's in the university. So I would love to go, but it's just like too close of a call, and because I would tell you later why I can't join, because I have another crash of events. But I would love to go. Like, you know, the southern part of Taiwan is very beautiful. It's, you know, I've never been. I've only been to Taipei. So it's like, you know, there are museums there. It's a very, you know, modern city. But southern part of Taiwan would be very nice. It would be like, you know, something different.
And an excuse to travel as well. Very good.
Yeah, but that would be like a very, very far travel to fly to like eastern part of Asia. Yeah. Do you want to go, Jasper? If you got a chance, would you go to a conference in Taiwan or Japan or Singapore?
Only if I'm paid for it, to be honest. Like, that's a 17-hour flight. I have been to Taipei before as well, and it was like a really long layover, and yeah.
Yeah, but like what I would do, like if I go to Taiwan, I would just like visit my family, maybe the week before or something like that. And well, but now it's like it's not happening. Basically, you can't travel anywhere, so. But the thing is, like the one that you can join easily, like no matter where you are in the world, is PyCon
Australia.
Like, yes, PyCon Australia, but they call it PyCon Online because it's online. So PyCon Online, Australia, and the most online PyCon AU ever. It's so fun. Yeah, so you can get your ticket still.
They released a super cool video on with the guidelines for the conference, and it was so much fun. Like, it's everywhere on Twitter. It's quite fun. It's quite a funny one.
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
You didn't?
No.
I
have to check it out later.
It's super funny because they make fun of the masks, and they're like, "Oh well, you can participate, and you don't need your mask if you're indoors. But in case you go outdoors, be safe." So it's like, it's super funny.
Yeah,
I'll link you on Twitter later.
Yeah, and again, like I would love to go to Australia, even though, like, again, it's a very long flight. But you know, it is fun. It's fun. I really want to go. And yeah, I can join at home this year without all this jet lag and all this like layover and stuff, and cool stuff. Yeah, right. So PyData Global, again, like November tickets is on sale. So the PyData Global ticket is actually a kind of system that pay what you want. So they have a recommended price. For example, for us, we are professional, and why it says that I'm in India is very weird. Maybe my VPN. I didn't have my VPN. Right. So in UK, it will be like recommended 95 USD, but you don't have to. So basically, what you do is that I think there is a way of here that donation. So basically, you donate an amount, and that will be your ticket price. But any donation below 10, you won't get a ticket because that's the minimum price for a ticket. So yeah, so just go and donate. So try to donate the amounts that is suggested, because like for me, like to be honest, this is very affordable, and you'll have a few days of content, and also you're supporting non-focus. I think that's very, very reasonable. Yeah, so I think they do a really very detailed job of kind of, you can check other countries, for example like India, which like I think originally a thing that I'm from, which is not sure. Oh no, it does. Okay, the locate will actually put you back. Okay, so let put India, whether like it changed to 35 USD. That's kind of like it will adjust. So let's say if you are in Afghanistan, there's 25. Okay. Yeah, so it's very, very reasonable. I think that's good. Like even like you say that, for example, if you're in UK and you think like, cause maybe you never know, like pandemic put you in a very difficult position, then like you can actually pay less. Like we have different tickets, you have others, you have students ticket. So it's just an honor system, right? So nobody really check whether you're a student. It's just like minimum is $10 USD.
Okay.
And even if you think that $10 would be quite a burden for you, you can apply for scholarship. So there's a scholarship program that you could apply. So that's, yeah. So like, even if you like, there's a scholarship system there you can do by filling out a form. So very, very like accessible. I think it's the one of the most accessible conference. So please do that.
And also, just reminding everyone that if you follow us for a while and you like the whole mentored sprints, they will have a mentored sprints day there as well. So if you enjoy contributing to open source, or if you haven't done a PR yet and you're wondering, and you like our help, well, I think we both will be there. So
yeah, definitely see you in sprints if you're not doing anything else. But I will also like run the data workshop there as well, like just like what we did in Pycon Africa. So yeah, so details will be announced because we are still at the early stage of organizing. But if you're interested in the workshop, the beginners workshop for data science, then you could follow Humble Data on Twitter. Okay. So yeah, so this is the merge shop of PyData. So if you really like the PyData logo, you can now have it on your mug or have it on your cap. Actually, I really want a cap, so like maybe that would work.
You've been talking about buying hats with swag since Python.
Yeah, because I got too many t-shirts and I got too many tote bag. So like I think I think things with, and also you can choose other like, I think you can choose either like you can view or, and then you can choose other logos. So if you like the one non-focus, you can put pandas. If you have Panda Guru, like you can put, whatever.
I like the mask one, and the bokeh is super cool as well.
Yeah, now it's like you can put your favorite non-focus sticker on your merch. So, Jasper, do you have any? Yeah, do you have any favorite? If you can choose one, what would you put there, Jasper?
Oh my,
Senpai.
I mean, I've been using NumPy for everything, but I think the logo is a bit underwhelming.
NumPy logo, that's actually quite cool. It's a 3D cube, right? Oh, why is it
No,
here?
I think the NumPy is just the sentence. It's like the second one on top of the R open side. Yeah,
Python
that one.
And NumPy and SciPy and Matplotlib.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
That one is actually good. That's like a riff on the on that super artsy thing, right?
Yeah, I think that would work. Like for a T-shirt that is just like bland and minimalist. Yeah, that's nice.
I do think they did a really good job with the new Pandas logo, though. So I really like how they changed that.
Yeah. And also, like, you get 3 days to get a 10% off everything. So if you want to buy anything, do it now. Don't miss your chance.
Okay. Everyone, don't miss your chances.
You got loads of different swag. So, like, you'll definitely find something for you or even your baby. I mean, maybe Ian should get something for his baby boy. Yeah, like accessories as well. So, like, that's, again, super accessible. Like, we don't have the t-shirt size problem anymore, which is super cool. And the last thing, like, one of my favorite, because like I'm actually thinking about putting like bokeh as well. The logo is very nice. It's a rainbow. It's a ring, and they just published this 2.2.
Yes.
And
they just released it.
Yeah.
And we have new formatting of tables. We have some new color mapping as well. There are some new functions. So it seems like a really cool release. So
yeah, I'm thinking about I may have a look at the data table there, because I have to create a tutorial in Jupyter that basically I would use Bokeh to make a shiny app in Jupyter Notebook. So yeah, so like I would use this for sure. So maybe I'll have a look at what they have updated. And I think that's it for the beginning part. And well, we are a little bit overrun, but we'll just jump into the discussion with Jasper. And let me take this down and have a build name here. And so yeah, like maybe first of all, Jasper, like, do you mind telling us a little bit about you? Like why, like, what's your background? Why you started Python? When you started Python? All this stuff.
So yeah, my name is Jesper. I'm originally from Germany, lived in a few places now. Right now I'm in Scotland. and quite happy here. I started Python, I think 3-4 years ago or something like that during my PhD, because basically the idea, like in university you learn MATLAB. That's just the rule.
Yeah.
I think it's slowly changing, but everyone learns MATLAB, and then you get out of university and you don't have a license anymore, and you try to test if you can actually do MATLAB programming and Octave, and you figure out that you can't. And so during my PhD, I wanted to learn a skill that is like transferable, and also I knew this seismologist. So I'm a geophysicist by background, like by far away background, and this seismologist has made this amazing PhD thesis all in Python 2, so even more respect to him. And like it was so impressive, and he had this entire toolkit, and it still exists even. You can look it up. It's called PyRocco. And
PyRocco. Okay.
yeah, and like I was just impressed by the guy, like what he could do with Python, and I'm like, I should really learn Python. And I wanted to get out of MATLAB, because like with MATLAB, I had the experience that at some point I'd always hit the boundaries of what it can do. Like there's always, like, you are constrained within MATLAB. And so yeah, wanted to learn it, started to learn it. Of course, the first thing I built was a game, because that's what you do.
Yeah, that's fun as well. More fun. Yeah.
And I've always been also fascinated like by big data and machine learning and kind of like optimization and all that stuff. So then in my PhD, when everything went wrong, I started to do machine learning, and Python was really good for it. And yeah, now I only do Python, and yeah, that's kind of how it happened. It just like it's a slippery slope. Once you start, you find more and more things you can do with it. Like, I don't know, of course I have Python installed on my phone and like running automatic scripts and stuff. Of course I have now Python like on my web server and doing stuff for me. It's like bits and bobs everywhere, and it's like the duct tape of my life at this point.
Yeah, I think like today actually I was recording a podcast with someone else, and like I answered this, basically the similar question with a similar answer, that like, you know, you started and then you just kind of rolling in there like a snowball. So like now you just started like working as a data scientist, is it? Like, so could you tell us a little bit about that as well? That sounds very exciting.
Yeah, so, well, officially it's a machine learning engineer, so it's one of the people that has too much compute available. And yeah, I mean, it was the pandemic. I was supposed to have a job, and then I didn't have a job anymore once I moved. So I was in a new country, didn't have a job, and it kind of sucked, like all of it. So I started looking for jobs. I applied for basically everything that was like machine learning or data science related. And like, honestly, the coding, like I think I'm quite a good coder. Like I can do all the whiteboarding and all that stuff. I'm actually really good at like competitive coding, but not on a competitive level. Just like if you give me an hour, I can figure out a good solution to the problem, like not in 5 minutes. But yeah, then I did this coding thing, and it went really bad, and they invited me anyways. And then we had the interview and basically talked for 2 hours about deep neural nets, and that's how I got a job. And now I get to play with deep neural nets on big GPUs and like solve a lot of interesting projects. And yeah, like I wanted to transition out of academia, and I wanted to transition out of geophysics, because I really, really like machine learning. Like it's I know like when people write these kind of stupid personal objectives on CVs that no one reads, it's always, I'm really passionate about machine learning, but I kind of really am. Like, I'm not gonna write
it's
it.
Not a lie. It's not a lie. Okay.
Yeah, but like you already do that like before, right? Because you already used deep neural net for your geophysics research before, is it?
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if I'm getting open software wrong or anything, but usually I just find a really smart solution someone else implemented, and then I change that solution so it fits to my problem. I'm not very, very creative myself. I'm just good at finding stuff that exists and then somehow shoehorning it into problems I have. So one problem I had was two seismic measurements. Seismic is basically like ultrasound of the subsurface. And so when you go over it several times, you can see changes in the subsurface. But because there are changes that you want and changes that you don't want, like, I mean, you have like a measurement years later, so your technology to get the data is much better, but that's not a change you actually want to see in your data. You only want to see the physical changes. So matching those images is like a huge problem. And I used a deep neural network that trains unsupervised that they found in medical imaging at MIT. And yeah, I basically just changed it to take seismic data, and it worked. Like, I was surprised how well it worked. Like, I didn't think it would work that well. And it's like, it's faster than the normal 3D solutions, and it's better than every 1D solution, and about as fast. And it's, yeah, I'm like genuinely proud of it. And yeah, just writing up my PhD thesis about it and hoping it'll get accepted this time.
Yeah, like I remember last time we met at Euro Sci-Fi, I think 2 years ago in Trento, like,
Back then.
and yeah, like back then, and like I remember we was just talking about like this wave or this like physics on top of a mountain. That's super weird, but that was fun. That was really fun. I was like, it's interesting to go to like a Python conference that you can nerd about science with people. That's super cool. But you already landed a job in machine learning. Congratulations, that's really
Thanks.
great. And so what do you think is the difference? Like, so of course, like you just started your job, like, but what do you think about like using, machine learning in research and machine learning in kind of real life problem, I guess, like, or commercial problems? Like, what do you think would be the difference?
Between what and what now? Between research and between application?
Yeah.
Machine learning, yeah.
Oh, like, I think the main idea of like machine learning researchers is that you want to find a generalizable solution that works on the world. Like, you want to solve, like, you can't tell me otherwise, but everyone that researches machine learning in secret wants to solve AGI, like general intelligence. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like everyone that writes a machine learning paper, as big or as small their contribution, it's always like, this is the most general in the world. And like, yeah, like, but in a business sense, it's totally fine if you like slightly overfit your models to the distribution of your problem. Like, it doesn't have to be a world model if you're a local business. It has to like predict your local data, your local distribution, or like, yeah, in that case, like your conditional distribution of the place where you are. And that's like the main difference, I'd say.
So it's more localized. It's more focused. There's a smaller scope.
Not necessarily, like, because like it's more of a training question. I think in research you really try that. Like, let's say we have cars, and if you buy a Tesla in the UK, I would say your Tesla should work in the UK, but doesn't have to work in like in weather that you have in South Africa, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, if you get your car there and it doesn't work there, that's a problem. But how likely is that? And also then we can have failure cases for that. But like, computer vision tries to solve all of computer vision at once. Like, whatever you show it, it tells you this is a cat, this is a hot dog. Like, it tries to like solve the entire computer vision problem in research. But like, if you have a Tesla, you want it to be as good as possible. And I don't think as good as possible is like, you can't really do that if you don't pick your battles. In regards to scope, in research, the scope is much smaller. Like you basically don't have machine learning ops. You have much smaller data sets. Like if you think about the GPT-3, that is the new huge machine learning NLP model. Like I'm not trying to explain here, just for the audience or whatever, but yeah, like that's trained on 500 billion words. I have never seen, touched, or in any way any machine that would even be able to hold that in rest, and not even if you're processing it. Like in no way do I have the grid to work on that. So like the scale is much larger. And even in like, I mean, I'm in a mid-sized business, and right now they're like talking, oh yeah, my ingestion pipeline is working for another 3 hours, and I'm like, cool. Like the data I used in research fits in RAM. Like it's big RAM, but like it fits in RAM, and like I can be smart about it. And like if you go into climate science, of course you have to have like distributed systems as well, because the models get so large. But like that's more of an edge case in a lot of things. Like you have really small data in research.
Yeah, that really makes sense. I mean, like, yeah, even though I've not been doing research for ages. Okay, so how about like Python community? Like, what's your experience with Python community? Because I've seen you like quite a few times already in conferences, and yeah, what do you like it? Do you like going to conferences?
I actually really do. So when I compare Python conferences to the scientific conferences that I went to, and I should caveat that, but I thought people were really nice, really open, really interested. Like you listened to me waffle on about waves, and now you're listening to me waffle on about machine learning. You're like, oh, this is really interesting. Tell me more. And when like with researchers, a lot of the times they're just waiting for their turn. Like I don't want to like say bad things about everything, but everyone has a talk at a research thing. So usually everyone is like super nervous and super like buzzed out their mind until they have their talk. And usually like everyone I know then has the talk on the last day and stuff like that. Like it's not as open, and it's much more performative. Whereas like EuroSciPy was like everyone was just there to kind of have fun. Then some people shared their talk and kind of did that, but it wasn't such a high pressure environment as well.
Yeah. I still go to the pub like the day before I give the keynote at 9 a.m. And then like basically everybody was nervous and messaged me when I was walking to the conference because they worried that I overslept because I was drinking last night. Obviously, everybody saw me there.
Well, it's good planning on their side, right? It happens.
Yeah, but I didn't stay till 2 a.m. though. I still have a little bit of self-control on that side. Yeah, but usually I would be, you know, it's PyCon UK, so I would be at Tiny Rebel till 2 a.m. So I think, so I don't know, like, let's talk about diversity. And because like I know that in tech community, I've been to Monsfest, I've been, you know, to like with Rare, but I've been to other conference that, you know, diversity and inclusive is kind of like a thing on a table. It's like everybody addresses it and try to make it happen.
Well,
So
they
like,
try.
but like, what do you think about that? Like, you know, is it really helping to make people feel more comfortable, or is it just, you know, well, they have to try harder? I mean, like, you know.
Oh my god, it's such a complicated thing, right? But I think let's take R out of the equation, because R is apparently doing a really good job with like R ladies and all that stuff.
Yes.
Like we should strive to copy even more from that. But like honestly, I think it's important to try to make people comfortable, but it's not enough. Like we should be doing more. Like I never felt as comfortable at anywhere compared to like Python conferences. Like especially when I volunteered at PyCon, I loved that they had the lanyard thing, if you want to get photographed or not. That's a really nice thing for people. I love that they had all gender bathrooms. I love that they really tried, right?
They really tried. They make a building with the labeled gender bathroom to be non-gendered. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And like I think it's important that we kind of make like policy decisions. Because if we define our community as diverse, this gives a framework for a diverse community. Because if we don't, the standard is white and male. So if we define our, like, that's just how it is. And especially in programming, I mean, you see it on Twitter all the time. If you have tech, it's a lot of tech bros. It's just what it is. And I mean, I try to build an inclusive community, and it's really hard. Like, if it's not really a community for gender minorities, if it's, or a community for women, or a community for like racial things, like we have like Geo-Latinas in geoscience, stuff like that. There people feel much more comfortable to also weigh in tech spaces that are just general tech. Even if you try to make it inclusive, my experience, like, I'm just talking about experience, like women, gender minorities, and people of like non-white, like people of color, it's they don't feel as comfortable weighing in. And I think that comes a lot from the society thing. There's an XKCD comic about like a guy writing something bad, like, oh, you're bad at math. A woman writing something bad, oh, girls really suck at math. And it's like, if you as the person are sticking out, there's like a group attribution directly, and people know that. Like, everyone knows that because it happens all the time. So just making people feel comfortable there, just having a COC, like a code of conduct, isn't enough. And like, I know I'm rambling, I'm sorry.
No, that's
but
fine.
like,
No, you're not.
Okay. I feel like at PyCon it was relatively mixed, but still very. There were a lot of dudes running around until you go to the Django Girls thing, and there it's like brimming with women that love to like contribute, to learn, to go to the workshops. They're chatting, and it's like, it's really hard. It's really weird because like I'm starting to think, and this is totally unfounded, but I'm starting to think that it's really hard to build tech-first communities that are diverse. And I think we see it with the maintainers and like people like the Python Datanista here, Mark, say it really well. All the maintainers of the main Python libraries are white and male. Like,
but I mean, I think if I can give my 2 cents here, I think
Please.
that I think that the reason for that is because, well, I don't think we can have a diverse community without investing on the presence of women there first. Like, I was in an inclusion forum today, and I found out that apparently like 4% of the females that engage on STEM subjects actually finish their undergrad. So it's like, if you have 4% of female presence, and I'm only talking about females, I'm not even talking about non-binary or all the other diverse groups that we have around. If you only have 4% of them graduating, then it doesn't leave that much space for them to actually be contributing and for them to be present on the open source community and present on all the other things that take time. Because they don't have that time. They're busy doing other things. So it's like, we need to prioritize that a little bit first, so then we can actually like try to stretch it to contribution with open source and all the other things. So that's one of the most beautiful things about our ladies, that they are being able to do that, and it's admirable because we really need it.
Yeah, I totally agree in that respect. I think if whatever like disadvantaged group you are, you have a higher mental burden. Like, and now we're getting really in theory of mind stuff, but like, if you're a gender minority and you go on Twitter every day, you're gonna check it, and there's gonna be that small moment to see if today the trolls are coming after you or not. Like,
Yeah.
Men do rarely get death threats or like threats of sexual violence or anything on anything. Like, it just doesn't happen. Like,
That's proven by Amnesty that that's true.
And like, I do not know a woman that has not received at least one death threat if they have a presence on Twitter or are doing science communication or are doing STEM communication. And that's really bad. Like, that takes a lot of, like, even if you can put it off as this person is clearly just venting, like, it's still, your day is trash after that because it's still a death threat. Like, that's nothing to shrug off like that.
Yeah, and even if you think about sexual harassment as well, like how many of us just goes onto LinkedIn sometimes in the morning, and you see like, oh, you're so pretty. Oh, how come you're doing tech? Oh, what are you doing with STEM?
I saw a tweet like some time ago saying like, LinkedIn is not Tinder, like, sir. LinkedIn is not Tinder or something like that. I was like, yeah, I really like resonated with it. I was like, why?
Yep.
What are you doing? Like, if you, it's funny, but at the same time sad. So yeah, like I mean, like I've been to like conference, like I have conversation with like people organizing conference saying like their goal is basically not worse than the in the general like tech in the tech occupation, that like how like the men versus women proportion I think, but I think we have to be better than that. Like we have to put effort and be better than that. So let me see. I'm just scrolling through the questions to see like because I am not following the plan.
I have one question then.
Cool.
I have one question that kind of follows the plan, but it doesn't really. And then we're going to talk about it. Then we're going to talk about how enthusiastic you are about machine learning with your business analytics course. But before that, I would like to ask you, so your background is geophysics, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So when you were like choosing the career path when you're a youngster and like choosing what you want to do for life, because that's how we all think, isn't it? Did you ever imagine that geophysics was going to bring you into data science and machine learning?
No.
Okay. So how did you get into that career path then? And like, what's the overlap? I'm curious about it.
I think I'm a bit of an outlier, and my friends tell me I'm an outlier and that. So like I'm very bad at learning if I don't try stuff out. So like I had really bad grades in math, and then if I have to do the exercises, it's fine. I can do like n-dimensional differentials and all that stuff, where everyone else was like having problems with it, and I'm like, yeah, but this makes sense because I can write it out. But when the professor is in the dimly lit room, I'm sorry, it'll come back in a second.
Yeah,
you became a cat.
Yeah. The camera is connected over my Wi-Fi, so sometimes it's a bit dodgy. No, but like I lost my train of thought.
You're talking about like the professor was very boring, like kind of in the classroom.
Yeah.
And that you were a learn by doing person.
Yeah, exactly. And like I'm really interested, and then I also really want to understand stuff, and I want to understand them at their fundamentals. And I think like if you're going principles first with a lot of stuff, you can basically transfer that to a lot of other things, especially in computation. Like, so in geophysics, you have to do a lot of optimization, and you usually don't have enough data to really make good guesses. So you kind of have to use statistics to make good guesses, and you kind of have to use regularization. So your model has to be constrained so it goes in a certain direction. And when you go to neural networks and you go to the principles first of a neural network, it's just gradient descent. And if you add momentum to it, it's basically a applied version of like conjugate gradient descent. If you think about it, I have no proof for this, so don't quote me on that. But like, and also it's potential fields, so it's essentially where you're going, and you have to regularize your neural network just like the models. And like this transfer, like knowledge transfer, is for some reason is quite easy for me. Like seeing, oh yeah, this is like that, and then like I get an easier intuition for that stuff. So it's really going from one step to the other. And in geophysics, it's a lot of like information theory, it's a lot of signal theory, like underlying principles that are true for everything that kind of behaves in a like physical, in a natural way. And like if we want to find good solution in computation, it's usually the same. Like a lot of stuff is inspired by physics, like hill climbing, it's just finding the minima, and like it's the same. You just have to like make two mental steps to get to machine learning. Yeah, so that's kind of it.
Cool. Well, thank you.
So about your, so like let's talk about your course. Really interested in that. So I think, could you tell us a little bit about like who should actually join your course? Like what is that for, and what is it talking about?
Well, so yeah, it's a course on Skillshare, and Skillshare asked me to make that course, which was really cool. Like, I mean, as you mentioned before, if you can give a financial incentive to do something, people will do something. And they said, hey, do you want money for making a course? And I said, yes, I would very much like that, because I don't have a job and it's the pandemic. So yeah, and basically the idea is that it's like for people that know Python at least a little bit. Like there's so many beginner courses, right? Like everyone has a beginner tutorial on whatever. Like if you start a blog for data science, you will probably have a blog post on MNIST dataset. Like everyone does it. So, and there's so many really good Python tutorials free on YouTube, and like you're doing some of that stuff as well. And like you can go to the what's it called? Yeah, you could go to PyData Global and get an introduction to Python with data science as well, but more focused on Python. And I didn't want to go over the Python syntax again, because a lot of people know Python now. A lot of people, like, Python is not that hard. Like, it's really made to be very simple, and I didn't want that. So I really wanted to go into the thought processes of data science. So I took a lot of data science courses. I've done a lot of data science. I have my opinions on data science. So basically I split it like in chapters. So I'm saying data loading is one of the chapters. So how do you get your data in? I do it like with examples and all that, like live coding, like recorded coding on screen. So you can see basically how it's built up, where I make mistakes, because I still make mistakes like daily. I have to, like, this is ridiculous because I basically use it every other day, but I have to Google what the CSV reading command is, because I can never remember if it's CSV load CSV, read CSV,
for
and then
pandas
write it.
Yeah.
Too many things.
Yeah. And pandas is very specific as well. Like
Exactly. And yeah, so like just go through it and like load a bunch of different data as well. Like a lot of business people will want to know how to get their Excel data into Python. So it's like lightly focused on business people, how they could do that, because I mean, Skillshare is kind of refocusing in that area too, to get like business clients. And yeah, I said, I'll make you a business analytics and data science course. That's and I basically don't touch the standard library at all. I use a lot of pandas. I use a lot of the tools that build on pandas, like Seaborn as well, because like for the thought processes of data science, like, I mean, yeah, data loading, then data cleaning, a lot of data cleaning. How do you deal with missing variables? Well, you load the missing numbers library because it's freaking awesome, and you visualize where your missing values are. Why would you code it yourself? What, like, I don't want to teach anyone to, and this is how you do it all by hand, and then you can also use this. No, I want to show them the cool library that they can use and that they will use every day, and go into detail there. And then for some edge cases, I'll show like how you can also do it. But like, I think it's important to like have a really applied course that will show you exactly like how you would use it every day. And I show the pandas profiler as well. That's like my first lesson in the exploratory data analysis course, which is basically all you need if you want like a repeatable like insight into your data. That's fine. Like, that'll do more than Excel can ever do. Like, that'll do so much. It generates you a HTML report that is beautiful. But then I go into details how you can get more out of it, how you can recreate some of those stuff, and also change like things that you want to change. Because I think like that's kind of more interesting. Like, really show someone how to use it, not, and the thought patterns behind data science. Why do you do something like that? Like, I mean, I could go like, I always decided to go like visualization first. Like, show them the correlation plots, like a regression plot or something, then go into the heat map plots of correlations, and then go into descriptive statistics, what's behind the data. But also not like, I'm not going into math. Why would I? There's amazing statistics courses like StatsQuest that will tell you what the correlation coefficient is. But for you to really use it, you need to know the standard Pearson correlation is a linear correlation. So something goes up and goes down with your data. And that's like, I want to go above the super basic level there, because I want people to just get like the really applicable things out of this course. And it was still like, I was really worried because I thought I didn't know enough. I thought like, Skillshare asks you to upload at least 10 minutes in a course and do between 20 and 60 minutes. And I'm like, let's see if I can make half an hour. So it's a 4-hour course.
Yeah.
I only figured that out when I uploaded all the videos. And yeah, like, I'm very proud. I'm very tired of seeing my face because I edited it myself, and it's not good to be like cutting out all the ums and ahs from yourself. You start hating yourself very fast.
Don't, because the course is awesome. Don't.
Thank you.
But you still enjoy making it, right?
Yeah. Like, well, yes and no. Like, so you wouldn't think that, because I create so much content, right? I have stuff on Kaggle, I have stuff on Skillshare, I have my blog, I have my newsletter, all that stuff. But everything I write is basically me bleeding on a page. Like, I suffer when I write. Like, I'm not a good writer. It takes ages. And like, I had to write this entire course, and then I had to talk through the course and program the course. Like, it's
a lot
like,
of work.
Yes,
Lots of work.
Yes. And like, it's a lot of like, really, like, I suffer a lot during the creation, and it's like a stupid thing to say, I know. And like, I don't need like sympathy or anything, but it's like, really, it's not easy, but I love it when I have the product and when I can share it with people, because like, people really like it when I put stuff out, and that is really amazing. Like, it's really hard to create that stuff, but then when you have have it out there, that is the really rewarding part for me. Like, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like that's why I also do but I do it for free. I do the streaming,
Mhm.
on Twitch. But that's fun. I think also like in the process, I have learned a lot of things as well. So I think it's almost towards the end. So let's quickly have a look at what we have this week for PyPI highlight. So
Yes. So Jasper, you get to also share with us your favorite library at the moment, because now is the time
if
when
you
you
have
share.
any, so
Yes.
I would put it up with mine. Actually, I would say that mine is a little bit tricky because it's actually a library that everybody knows, Docker Compose. Like not everybody, but people who use Docker will know Docker Compose. I just discovered that is a Python library. You can pip install it. I didn't know that. You can pip install Docker Compose, so I was mind blown. Yeah.
I didn't know that either, but I'm not really a Docker user. Like I use Docker like maybe twice.
Because you know how I discovered it? I discovered it because when I switched to another Python environment, it tell me that I don't have the Docker Compose. I was like, why? And it's actually because it's a Python library, and I previously I don't know how it installed on my other environment. So it's like, oh, okay. It's very, very interesting. Yeah. So so that mine's very, very quick. It's just
Cool.
this is funny stuff. And
then I have some fun stuff today because I'm in a presentation mood. So I found Present. So Present is a Python library that you can install from your terminal. And then you can actually make your slides from your terminal using Markdown in a README file. On an empty file. And it's animated, so like you can add your images. You can from your terminal. It's super cool. So I'm thinking about a cool lightning talk for next Wednesday using Present.
I'm just saying this would be perfect for a lightning talk because it would be super quick. Even though now I'm so efficient with slides because I've used it a lot, but I think this is it will be super fast. And also it will be good to share it on GitHub, and people can change it, and you can see the diff, which is you got all the benefits from other code. So
and you can do it from your terminal. So like if you like using your terminal for things and you don't want to switch it, you can just use that for making your presentations now as well. And thank you, Natalia from Chic Bang Bash, because she was the one that actually told me about this one. Because we were discussing things on Twitter. She was like, "Oh, I found this really cool thing." I was like, "Oh, cool! Send me the link." So so thank you, Natalia.
Yeah. So I think someone told me that if you use Vim, then you only need your terminal and a web browser. So that would be cool. Right. So Jasper, do you have any, or no pressure because we didn't ask you to prepare any, but it's just do you have any in your mind that you want to share?
It catch me off guard, but
it's okay. It's okay.
I do actually have one that I'm excited about, but didn't try yet.
It doesn't matter.
So I did. So I'm working with PyTorch, which is the Facebook. So there's Facebook and Google for deep learning at the moment, and Facebook just open sourced the Differential Privacy library, which is amazing if you want to do healthcare AI and stuff like that. So I'm quite interested in trying that one out. And
what's the name again?
Yeah, I was trying to Google for that, but I can't.
Yeah,
I'll try to find it.
We can upload it on the notes later. It doesn't matter. Okay, cool.
Opacus.
Opacus?
Opaque. I'll just put it in chat.
Let's see if I can find it.
Yes.
Opaque. Is that machine learning?
Generally, I think differential privacy will become really interesting. It's so intertwined with ethics and all that stuff at this point that it's important to learn about it, and it's a huge blind spot I have. So
yeah, I've never learned of differential privacy. Oh, another topic to research today. Very good.
Right. Actually, I found it. I'll put the link in the note, and I'll also put the link in the so it's CR. Is it? No, or maybe it's not. Right. Okay, so maybe I'll do some googling, some more
It's okay.
googling, I think. Yeah, but anyway.
Yes. So we have also announced the Piroco link and the StatsQuest link that we were talking about in the interview as well. So I guess this is the end then, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the end, and
Already.
so yeah, sadly, it's like it ends very quickly. And do you have anything at the end you want to say, or like anything that we didn't ask that you want us to know?
Thanks for having me.
That's your last chance. And if not, then we will just enjoy the rest of the evening. So, oh, Luke is here as well. Yeah.
Ooh, hello, Luke.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would. Yeah, let's. I just sound awkward to end it because like it's different now. It's in the evening. And my background is getting darker and darker, so we have to end now.
You're ghost here.
Yeah, the ghost is chasing after me. But yeah, enjoy the rest of the evening or the day if you're in the US. And yeah, see you very, very soon.
Yes, thank you very much for tuned in. Thank you, Jasper. Thank you, Chuck, again for all the work and for hosting. And well, we see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.